Welcome back to the PFR. Apologies for the technical difficulties on the last stream. We are having a restart here for the Chinese Grand Prix, round 11 of this sprint championship. Not sure what the issue was, but I think we had some connection issues which may have caused the first lap accident that saw plenty of drivers eliminated. We've got 18 drivers back on the grid for the second restart, and hopefully we'll get through this one without any more problems. So we await for the start of this one with Jace on pole position and Fletch alongside. And then it's Seeker one in the Ferrari in third position. And drivers given a chance to sort out their race setups and tyre strategies before this event does finally begin. I don't think we're going to be having a formation like this time, so I think we'll just go straight into the race, unless I am mistaken. And we are actually going to have a formation lap. So just to run down who is lining up where. As you can see, Jace is on pole ahead of Fletcher alongside it, Seeker 1 and Aaron on row 2. Kilmore and Duster on row 3, followed by John and Rishi on the 4th row, with Seeker with Squan and Armandura on the 5th row and running out the top 10. Luke and Vintage make up the 6th row ahead of ZHR and Chromad. Steffi and Smith are on row 8, then making up the grid are Fudge Cakes and Adds Up. As you can see, Luke, Vintage, Chromad, Steffi and Adds Up are on the mediums. The rest are on the softs, including all of those in the top 10 as they set their fastest qualifying times on that compound. So it'll be a 14-lap race. Fletch going into this one with a 15-point lead at the top of the championship over Kilmore, who is starting in 5th. Aaron, 3rd in the championship, starting in 4th place. I have to say, those are the 3 in genuine contention for the title, with 6 races to go, including this one. Now, Jace has already got a point for pole position, which takes his total to 16, who we're hoping to make that total to 41 by the end of today. But as ever, anything can happen in motor racing. So if you have joined us, we do welcome you. Do get involved in the live chat and make sure you like and subscribe in case you haven't already done so. As Jace comes onto the pit straight, ready to go for this one. Jace lines up in his grid spot now. So got one McLaren starting at the front and one at the back. Labyrinth, who was here earlier, has had some issues with his pad, which makes it too risky for him to be racing out there today. Here we go then for the start of this one. Hopefully no more problems. And hopefully no incidents at all. So the 5 red lights appear in front of the drivers. When they go out, we'll be racing here in Shanghai. It's lights out, and away we go. Fletch gets off to a very, very good start. He could pull alongside Jace coming into turn 1. But look at the Ferrari. A Seeker one is going to go to the outside. He's got by Fletch and into second place. Can he make that first position? He's going too far wide there into turn 2. And Fletch is going to get back him on the inside. But Seeker one is still there, and he takes second place. So Jace leads ahead of the Ferrari of Seeker one, followed by Fletch and Aaron, Doss, Rishi, Kilmore, John, Squan, and Armadura make up your top 10 so far after the first 4 turns. So we didn't get a repeat of that start line incident. There were a few drivers that have gone off the racetrack, but nothing in comparison to what we had at the first start. And there's Jace continuing to lead out in front. There's Seeker one looking to give chase. And now we're looking at the other Ferrari of Dust, who's getting past Aaron here. So Aaron runs wide. Ferrari may get back on him round the outside, does he? The answer is no. But he's still there, though. As they come down this back straight for the first time in this Grand Prix. And look, ooh, and Rishi just cuts across there on Aaron there as they were going into the hairpin. The drivers coming towards the end of lap 1 with Jace in the lead, who runs wide. And there's one of the Hassers in the wall. That'll be Squan, who's ripped off his front wing and is going to have to do a whole lap without that front wing. So he falls to the back after that one. I just wonder with the debris left over there, that may be enough to bring out the safety car. ZHR is in the pits, presumably for repairs. What is he going to be going on to? He's going to go into a set of mediums. But already he's on the back foot as Jace continues to lead out in front. And it looks like the other Mercedes in trouble. It's Smith who's gone off the track at turn 1. And this Fudge Hate's getting past Swan, who's without that front wing. And look at this between Aaron and Dust as Aaron goes to the inside there into turn 7. Dust will have the inside line for 8. But then Aaron will have the inside line for 9. And Aaron gets back through. So Aaron back into 4th place as he looks set to give chase to the top 3. Kilmore trying to get back in the action here after a really poor start. He's got the Alfa Romeo of John behind him. He'll be looking to get through. And now we go back to Dust, who's got back through on Aaron again. So these two refusing to leave each other alone here. Aaron and Dust. Rishi looking to get involved as well. And you can see some of the drivers, and one of the Aston Martins gone off the track. That'll be Chromad. So Chromad off the racetrack as Rishi gets past Aaron to go up into 5th place. Aaron fighting back though. Needs to watch the Alfa Romeo there, and did so just in time by the looks of things. Squan in the pits as well as Smith. So Rishi continuing to close in behind Dust. The DRS has been enabled now as well, so Rishi will be able to use that to his advantage. And Aaron has lost a position to John now, so Aaron very much beginning to go backwards here. And Rishi will be looking to get past here now on the Ferrari. Rishi to the inside, going far too deep. He's gone off the racetrack and needs to be careful not to be exceeding track limits either. And that's the McLaren there. Who's that? Is that Adsup that's off the track? It is. I don't know how that happened, but he's off the racetrack as his teammate Jace comes into the pit lane. It looks like ZHR has gone for another spin as well in the Mercedes, so that's him on the back foot as Rishi comes in, Aaron and Vintage as well. Well, Aaron needing a new front wing actually, so leaving himself with too much to do as Jace rejoins ahead of Chromad in 10th position on the road now. He's got clean air ahead of him, so he'll be looking to push on as Adsup retires in the pits. First driver out of this race as Fletch wants to get back what will be the race lead on the road. So Fletch has the rear wing open. Now, will either of these two come into the pits at the end of this lap? Fletch is doing so. He's looking to complete effectively an overcut on Jace, although that's highly unlikely, but can he complete an undercut on Seeker One? As Sefi gets past John as well. Armandura gets the first time penalty of the race for track limits. John is out. So Fletch is out on his way. John comes into the pits as Armandura. And Smith is without his front wing, so I'd imagine he'll be in the pits and out of the race, to be honest with you. So it's a Ferrari 1-2. It's highly unlikely it'll remain that way as Smith continues to get penalised for corner cutting. So we're on lap 5 for this race now. As Seeker One will be looking to retain his lead here. And Smith is into the pits and out of the race, so that's him gone from this one. The driver who's running 5th in the championship before today, not going to be scoring points as Seeker One comes into the pits. So medium tyres go on. And he's out on his way. Kilmore also in for Alpine. Mediums go on for him. He's away, no problem. And Sefi fighting with Dust for the race lead. As Jace gets in front of Fletch and Seeker One again, and Fletch was able to get the undercut done on Seeker One. So effectively your race order is Jace, Fletch and Seeker One. Although Seeker One is going to have DRS behind Fletch when they get onto the back straight. And Fletch has gone off. Fletch just run wide there at turn 12. And he's lost the position to Seeker One and effectively second place as Sefi gets past Dust now as Fudge Cakes crashes out of the race. Is that going to be enough to bring out the safety car? Well, Dust goes into the pit lane now. I hope we don't get a safety car, to be honest with you. Well, Dust is into the pits now. Sefi takes the lead with Luke in second. There's Dust in the pits and out again. And I think Dust should rejoin ahead of Kilmore here. And he will do so. There's Aaron in 12th position after that front wing change. So Sefi looking to go on a long first stint here before he chooses to come in for his own stop. And the driver with the fastest up of the race so far is Seeker One in third place. Only one driver with a penalty at the moment, that is Armand Dewar. So Sefi looking to go as far as he can here. I'd imagine he'll be out there for another couple of laps before he chooses to come in. He's got a 7-second lead over Luke in P2. He's going on the same strategy as he is. So Fletch in 5th place has lost the position to Seeker One after that spin that he had. And now he's wanting to get that place back. He's now within a second of the Ferrari. So Fletch should have the DRS on this back straight. What about the race leader, Seth, who's just going through the hairpin now? So we'll go back to Fletch, who has the rear wing open. There's Chase going past Luke for the race lead here. Luke perhaps been a bit too kind there, if I'm honest with you. I know he isn't in the same race as Jace, but you won't want to be losing too much time by letting him through like that. As Kilmore gets a time penalty now for track limits. Armand Dewar in 8th place. And Sefi rejoining in 9th. On fresher tyres now and with more grip. So it won't be too long before he gets onto the rear. As Cromad lets his teammate by. Here's Luke. Coming into the pits from second position, but he's gone into the wall there, look. Pushing far too hard and his race is over. And that has caused a safety car, so Luke's misjudgment into the pit lane has caused the safety car to be deployed. Well, Jason's already gone past the safety car, so he'll have to go round, but Luke's race has ended in the barrier there. It's a bit of a silly one, really, it has to be said. He should have slowed down far more. He knew he was on worn tyres to begin with. Well, Darcy's back in the pits now for a change of tyres. Now, I wonder if the leaders will do the same. I think one Jace does get to the safety car. And Swan is out of the race now as well. Is he stopped in the pits or has he crashed out somewhere? I think he stopped in the pits. So Swan's race is also done. I think he's done the same thing as what Luke did earlier. Well, ZHR has got himself... Well, he's being thrown a lifeline here now. As long as he doesn't get lapped by the leader before he gets out of the pit lane, he should get back on the lead lap. So Armandura and Sefi coming back into the pit lane. In fact, Armandura has decided to call it quits. I don't understand why he's done that. Sefi taking his... I think he must have been speeding in the pit lane earlier or something, or had a collision with someone, so that's why he's come back in and got a new nose on. So Armandura out of the race. We are now down to 12 runners. So Jace has caught up to the safety car. So the only driver with a penalty in this race is Kilmore, who got that via track limits. Safety car lights are still on, so we'll go around for one more lap, and then we'll have a 2-lap shootout to the finish. So Jace leads behind the safety car with Seeker 1 in second. Fletch third ahead of Rishi, John, Kilmore, Aaron, Chromad, Dustin, Seffi, Vintage and ZHR. The last of those still in the running, and of course all on the lead lap. So if the race was to finish as it is now, Fletch will be extending his lead at the top. By how much remains to be seen, because Kilmore and Aaron are running in 6th and 7th places respectively, but Kilmore has that 3-second time penalty which he needs to serve at the end of the race. The safety car is in at the end of this lap. So ZHR has caught up to the back of the field. And it'll be a mad dash to the finish here. And I have to say, those on the mediums are going to be under threat from those who had pitted for the soft compound. We'll see how quick they are on the restart. Oh, a bit of contact there from Seeker 1 and Jace. Jace maybe slowed them down a bit too much, to be honest with you. I hope that wasn't enough to give Seeker 1 a penalty. He's gone into the wall there, look. So he lit up the tyres and got it all horribly wrong. And we're back on the way here in Shanghai as Jace leads ahead of Fletch and Rishi. Seeker 1, John, Kilmore and Aaron are next. And it's Chromad, the first of those, on the soft compound. There'll be no DRS for the remainder of this race now. So there have been only 2 laps left. I haven't seen too much else in terms of change in position. And that mistake for Seeker has dropped him down to 4th position. And I think Seeker must have had damage after that contact with the barrier. And his performance through the corners is showing it. He's run wide there at turn 10, and that will give John, Kilmore and Aaron an opportunity to make a move. So the field coming round to start the final lap of this race now. You can see a whole queue of cars just fighting over the same piece of tarmac. And look at John now, who's getting past Seeker 1 for 4th position. ZHR with a new fastest lap. As Aaron dives to the inside of Seeker 1 to go up into 5th position. And Seffi trying to get through as well. The two make contact. And they make contact again. And Seeker 1's off the track, and so is Aaron. Kilmore struggled to get a good line off the exit. And there's the HR spinning round. That'll be something for the stewards to discuss afterwards. As Jace carries on his way and is looking good for the race victory now. It was nip and tuck, it has to be said. And Seffi looking to get past John as well. Rishi looking good in 3rd, Fletch looking good to extend his lead at the top. But Jace is on the back straight, using up all the ERS that he can. And he's going to come through and take a well-deserved victory. So Jace coming through. Seffi gets past John, by the way. He's up into 4th place. Jace rounds the last corner to win the Chinese Grand Prix in Shanghai. He takes it. Flex is 2nd, ahead of Rishi in 3rd. Seffi finishes ahead of Dust. Kilmore will drop back with that penalty. So Aaron is 6th, Vintage 7th, Chromad 8th. Kilmore will drop to 9th. Seeker 1, who's got front wing damages 10th. ZHR 11th. John in the barrier. Don't know if he's going to get to the line, to be honest with you, with the way he's stranded. But it's Jace, who is the race winner here in Shanghai. Very, very well done to him. And that's 25 points to his credit. So your final race order sees Jace win ahead of Fletch, with Rishi in 3rd, Sephi and Dust are 4th and 5th ahead of Aaron and Vintage, Crabhead 8th, Kilmore 9th and Seek 1 in 10th. Sedichar was 11th. He got the fast start but didn't finish inside the top 10, so he doesn't get that point. And that's the rest of the finishes. With Amadura, Squan, Luke, Fudge, Smith adds up, and John not making it to the checkered flag. Time for some interviews then, so we'll speak to the drivers on what's been an interesting Grand Prix and get their thoughts before we wrap up today's broadcast. So after what's been a brilliant race in Shanghai today, let's speak to some of our drivers. Today we'll speak to Fletch first, who finished 2nd, which is good enough to see him extend his lead at the top of the championship. How did you find today's race, Fletch? Yeah, I don't know if you saw on the first start. There was carnage in the first start, which I think contributed to the restart, which I'll ask Aaron about shortly. But yeah, it was pretty much like dodgems all the way through that, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with you finishing 2nd, and Aaron, I believe he finished. I can't remember if he finished 6th or 7th in that, but most certainly he finished 6th. Actually, did Aaron? So with Aaron finishing 6th and Kilmore finishing down in 9th place, I think your lead at the moment now has been increased to what I believe is 31 points, which is more than a full race, a maximum score for a round. So you must be feeling pretty comfortable with 5 races to go. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you very much, Fletch. Well done today on your 2nd position and extending your lead at the top of the championship going into Mexico City in a week's time. We'll speak to your Red Bull teammate, Aaron, next, who had quite an eventful one, particularly the coming together, the Concertina collision on the last lap. I don't know how that all panned out, but yeah, what exactly happened during that? Because I think Sephi was alongside with you, as well as another car that was there, but it seemed though it just got a bit of handbags involved. Yeah, I mean, we had this issue 7 days ago in Singapore, which caused the postponement of that one. So the fact we've had a restart in this one was actually the best thing you could do, because otherwise, with so many rounds coming up, and the season ending in Abu Dhabi in December, you want to make sure that you want to finish on time, obviously, before the Christmas period. So where does the championship lead for you then? Because I know that Vengeance has been dropped from the championship itself because he's missed a lot of races. So it's given you a chance to actually close back in, but you've lost ground to your teammate and title rival. Hmm. Well, there's Mexico City coming up next, which I'm sure will be another interesting Grand Prix for you to do well at. So very best of luck to that one. We'll speak to Luke next, who is running in the high ends of the field on the alternate strategy until a misjudgment at the pit entry. I suppose it's just as simple as carrying too much speed, isn't it? Yeah, well, I know there was a thing with Lewis Hamilton in 2007, so you're not alone there, Luke, which is, I suppose, is some consolation. But you drove a decent race up until then. I thought maybe, putting the soft tyre on, coming back out, maybe threatening the likes of Aaron and Seeker one a little bit to sort of get into the top five, but just sadly just wasn't to be today. But in terms of how you felt over the course of the season, how has it been for you in this Division Sprint Championship in the PAFR? Not too bad. I mean, I suppose so far this season, only 2 points on the board, but hopefully you'll look to increase that in a week's time in Mexico. Thank you very much, Luke. We'll go to your Alfa Romeo teammate, John, who looked to be on course for a fourth place finish until a coming together, it seemed, between you and Sefi, who didn't quite pick it up on the stream because the race leader had crossed over the line and we were watching that. But just tell me that's what exactly happened, because you didn't end up finishing the race after all that. Mm. And going into the last five events of this season, obviously there's Mexico next week, which I unfortunately won't be around due to other commitments. Um, which events are you looking forward to the most? Because I know there's obviously Saudi Arabia coming up, which is not being released yet in the game. But would you be happy to have it on the calendar for this season, just as a bit of a trial for you in terms of how it feels to be racing there? Well, thank you very much, John. Hard luck today, but better luck next time in Mexico City. And that's all for today from us, folks. Thank you to all of those who have just been interviewed by me. Next week is the round of Mexico, which I won't be around, as I've already mentioned, but I will be back for the rescheduled Singapore round, if I'm correct, Aaron, just to clarify. So, yeah, so the 21st to the 11th, so that's a Sunday, isn't it? So the Thursday Sprint Championship, yeah, so that'll be the Singapore round, won't it? So, yeah. So the Singapore one is when I'll next be in, but the next round for the Sprint Championship for the PFR will be in Mexico City in 7 days' time. Thank you very much for joining us. Do make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel in case you haven't already done so. And we'll look to do it again sometime soon. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Pro-Am Formula Racing returns.